Hey, welcome to Sunshine Haze. I am Aja A. For those of you guys that are just tuning into my channel, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. To all of my subscribers and people that watch me on the regular, thank you. I appreciate you guys. I've got a news. As you see, this is a new video. I know it seems like I've been putting up videos like back to back to back to back, and I have been, but this is one of the regular videos. It means we've got some moon stuff going on. We are now entering a new lunar cycle, meaning we're saying bye-bye to my Cancer lunar cycle. So y'all could get out your feelings. When I tell y'all that Cancer lunar cycle really had y'all on 10, like, and I'm Cancer, like, to my core, Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Venus, so like I'm used to that energy, but I know a lot of y'all aren't. And I'm glad that we're moving out of Cancer lunar season for y'all. For my own personal selfish reasons, we could really just stay in Cancer lunar season for the rest of the year. You know, all the time. Yeah, so this is this is a new video because we are coming into a new lunar cycle. We are having a new moon in Leo. I've got a lot of videos up, as I was saying. We'll have the new moon in Leo tarot forecast going up. I also have a lot of retrograde videos up. I have a retrograde series playlist. We are currently in a Mercury retrograde. Got Uranus going into retrograde. We've got a Neptune retrograde, Saturn, Mars, getting ready to come out of the Mars retrograde, I believe. And Jupiter went direct about a month ago, or a few weeks, I don't know. It's a lot going on. Also, we are in eclipse season. We're actually finishing up eclipse season. So this video is about the new moon in Leo and also the partial solar eclipse in Leo. This is the last eclipse for the year, and it is the second to last eclipse on the Leo Aquarius axis. So I'll talk about that a little bit further into the video. But with that being said, I do have a playlist called the Eclipse series. Go on and check that out. We just came off of the full moon in Aquarius, so still kind of not still dealing with that energy, coming off of that energy, going into this new lunar season. The full moon in Aquarius was actually rounding out the Cancer lunar season, but that was a total lunar eclipse, and so that actually has a pretty big influence on our lives. So although we're coming out of that full moon energy, I actually would suggest y'all watch that video so you can get a little bit of insight into the eclipse energy, especially dealing with the total lunar eclipse, okay? Excuse me. Okay, so as I was saying, why am I so winded? Sometimes I be feeling like I just ran like 7 laps. I didn't do anything but like open my notebook. Yeah, so for those of you guys that are just now getting into the astrologies, or you know, you're interested in what these moon cycles mean for you, this is a new moon, and the definition is very simple. All a new moon is when the earth, the moon, and the sun are aligned, and the side of the moon that is illuminated is not facing us. So the side of the moon that we see is not illuminated, meaning we don't actually see the moon. That is the new moon. And the new moon, going with the word, is associated with cycles, as the moon is associated with cycles. The new moon is associated with new beginnings, transformation, and it's also a really good time for manifestation and bringing new ideas and new intentions into play. On a physical level, you know, you hear people talk about, oh my gosh, why is she tripping? Why is she so emotional? Oh, it must be a full moon. A lot of my friends, or a lot of the people that know me, when crazy shit is happening, I'm the first to be like, is it a full moon? Like, what's going on with the moon tonight? What sign is the moon in? So the new moon, when we're talking about, you know, our emotions, or because the moon is the planet that governs our emotions, we're talking about what is being affected in our lives. The new moon is typically associated with the time of like mystery, a time of anxiety, confusion, just dealing with, if you look at it in like a figurative sense, the new moon, there is no light illuminating the sky. We can't see anything, so things are a little mysterious, things are a little confused, things are a little confusing, a little hazy, but also it is a time for new beginnings. We've just dealt with the release and the cleansing of the Aquarius full moon. Now we're coming into starting a new cycle with this Leo full moon. Okay, I'm sorry, Leo new moon. That's a handful, yo. This Leo new moon. That's a mouthful, not a handful. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get straight into it. So we've got a new moon in Leo happening on Saturday, August 11th, and the new moon is happening at 5:58 a.m. and I believe that is Eastern time. For some reason, it was so hard for me to figure out what time this lunation was happening this time around. So I'm pretty sure I'm right on that, but I could be wrong. If I am and y'all are watching this video and you know the actual time, I'm almost certain that it is 5:58 a.m. talking about Eastern time. If you got different information, drop it in the comments. It is definitely welcome for sure. Okay, so we've got a new moon in Leo, and we're talking about the sign of Leo. Wild ass Leo. No, I have a love for Leos. I do, but I also have I don't even know what to call it. It's not a dislike. It's just a what? Both of my parents are Leos. Mind you, but I got special parents anyways. My mom and my dad are both Leos, and they're both 33s, and both of them got Mercury in Leo like myself. They both gave that to me. So that's why I be talking about Leos like y'all are just the wildest, because my parents are Leos, and I joke around about them a lot. I get it from my mama and my daddy. I got jokes. I be clowning because my Mercury is in Leo. But so do they, because their Mercuries are also in Leo. But yeah, so no, Leo is the sign that is associated with this sense of strength. It's a very confident sign, and it is a sign like Aries, like most of the fire signs, associated with the self. And if you guys know any Leos, or you know people with a lot of Leo placements, Leos are known for being the actors. They like to showcase things. They show things off. Leos are very exuberant in the way that they come across. Most Leos are, unless, for the most part, if you're a Leo, you have that showmanship about you, unless you have like heavy earth or like water placement, specifically Cancer. You know. Okay, I'm like, Cancer lunar cycle. Look, I'm trying to throw Cancer in all over the place. I'm like, well, that's not the video. That's not what we're talking about this time. But I do have a note here talking about the Cancer lunar cycle. So we are entering a new lunar cycle, which is starting in the sign of Leo. But this is meaning that we are coming out of the Cancer lunar cycle, which was all about, you know, nurturing and soothing our souls and emotional and trauma and inner child healing. With this new moon in Leo, now that we've done that cleansing for ourselves, and we're talking about Leo, a sign of the self, a sign of showing things off, a sign of, you know, confidence and strength and perseverance. We're talking about having a new moon in Leo, a new lunar cycle in Leo. We are dealing with, although this is a new moon, we are still kind of dealing with a healing element, only because we're in this, not only because, but mainly because we're in this 11 year, which carries the vibration of healing through enlightenment. But this new moon in Leo, dealing with that energy of the self and dealing with that energy of love, putting those together, self-love, we're going to be looking at new ideas and new ways and new habits in which we can better serve ourselves. More so, the theme of this year, and especially for the summer, has been figuring out how to do certain things, how to bring in certain habits, how to move in certain ways that really serve ourselves and our soul's purpose. So we're at a point in this year cosmically where we are figuring out what it is that we love deep down inside, what we truly like, what we truly want to be doing. And in finding these things out, these are things that tend to just have us fall into alignment. And myself, and I'm sure a lot of you have noticed, especially if you're kind of making that shift, and I'm sure most of you are, especially with these eclipses and stuff happening, making that shift into doing what you really want to be doing what you really need to be doing, feeling a pull to be doing. You're starting to fall in alignment with a lot of synchronicity, I'm pretty sure. So this new moon in Leo is saying, okay, we've done this cleansing, we see what needs to be healed, that's going to be continuous with that Cancer element. We've got these eclipses, and I'll talk about that in a second, so I'm not going to touch too much on that right now. But it's saying, okay, now is the time for us to come in and figure out how we can love ourselves some more. How can we create habits that not only show us, but show the world how we're caring for ourselves. And that could mean mental health. That could mean taking care of yourself physically. That could just, in general, how are you taking care of yourself? How are you showering yourself with the love and the attention that you actually need to be giving to yourself in the physical and to yourself on a higher level, on a soul level, okay? This is also because we're Leo, and I think I said this also, not we're Leo. We are not Leo. We are in the Leo lunar season. Every time I talk about Leos, I think of the Aries new moon videos, tarot forecasts, where I did the Scorpio reading, and for some, and I promise y'all, I swear, and I swear to God, I rarely do that. I promise y'all that I had a whole Scorpio reading, uploaded it, watched it before I uploaded it, watched it again on YouTube. Then the next morning I wake up and somebody's like, oh, you just called us Leos like 32 times. I'm so offended. And I'm like, what? And it was a Scorpio video. I don't know how that happened. I have an idea how that happened, but that's that's a completely different story about how wild, you know, living the spiritual gangster life is. Anyways, so where was I at? Oh, because we're talking about Leo. In finding these ways to serve ourselves and doing things that make us happy and making us feel truly fulfilled, it's also going to be a time to showcase those things. As I said, Leo is the actor. Leo is the look at me sign. Leo is the this is what I do. This is I want you to see what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and I want you to praise me. That's Leo energy. Let's keep it completely honest. This is going to be a time to take a little bit of that energy, coupled with, okay, these new things that we're figuring out about ourselves and how to love ourselves and how to develop, you know, our own spiritual, yeah, I hate strapless bras, I'm sorry. I hate bra straps, and I hate strapless bras just as much, so. Which L did I decide to take today? I took the strapless bra L, so I'm sorry for continuously adjusting my boobs. My bad. Yeah, it's a time to show off these things that we're learning about how to serve ourselves. So, you know, definitely a time where you'll be hearing a lot of people, especially people like myself, where we're discovering new ways to heal ourselves or new ways to find our zen. And you're going to want to share that with people. So, myself, for prime example, I'll find a meditation or something, and I'll hit most of my friends that be into it and like, hey, I just found this so-and-so meditation, and it's worked really well for me. I did it with these stones, and this is what is shifting for me. So you may see a lot of things like that, or you may see people like trying new things out, say like new diets or new daily regimens, or like, you know, new healthcare routines or something of the sort. And, you know, people wanting to share that with other people because they're feeling like, this is helping me better myself, this is helping me better my quality of life. Let me share this with you and let me show you what I'm doing and how you can do it too. Very Leo-esque energy coming through in those types of things, okay? This is a fire moon, so when we're talking about the fire signs, we're talking about intense, passionate, driven energy. So with this fire moon, first things first, because it is we're talking about a sign in the fire element, but we're dealing with the moon, which is a water planet. There is a clash of energies there. So whenever the fire and the water energy comes together, I say that it's a time where it's a lot of action going on and a lot of emoting going on. So although this is a new moon, because we're dealing with Leo energy and Cancer energy, and they're actually so close to each other in the zodiac as well. And I say Cancer energy because of the moon, the moon's home sign is Cancer, water energy. You know, our passion and the emotional investment that we have connected to these new habits or these new things new routines that we're bringing in is going to be very intense. And as I said, especially dealing with Leo, we're going to be feeling a very strong pull, a little bit on the negative side, in trying to share in a positive way, especially because we feel like these things are working for us. We may, in a sense, be actually trying to push some of these ideas onto people. So just be very mindful of that during this time. That is also very Leo energy. What I got? Fire moon. Leo is a fixed sign, and so the fixed signs are the signs that fall in the middle of the seasons. Leo falls in the middle of the summer season, and the fixed signs are all about actually taking and making those actions, building upon things. So with this being a fire fixed moon, we're going to be looking at coming into new habits on actually taking the actions to make ourselves happy, to do those things that make us feel content, or to bring in that self-love. So it's one thing to think about things, it's one thing to intend things, but it's a completely different ball game to actually take action and make the moves on these things that you are intending within your life, okay? All right, so let's move on into the solar eclipse portion of this. With these moons and the eclipses, so the eclipse season is the time where it's a lot of change and a lot of transformation. And eclipse energy lasts for a good half of the year, but it is very intense actually around the eclipses. So we just had a full moon in Aquarius, and that was a total lunar eclipse. So that one affected us a little bit more. This is a partial solar eclipse, so it's not, the energy is not as intense, but it still is bringing in some major change for us. When we're talking about solar eclipses, we're talking about the things that are being shown to us, being illuminated for us, the things that are phasing in. So what is very interesting is that we are getting ready to wrap up. We're having eclipses on the Leo Aquarius axis, which is the polarity there is all about the self and the collective, and figuring out ways in which to serve ourselves and be our true selves, and also, you know, still work with and serve the collective, and also take energy from the collective that serves us. Dealing with Aquarius and Leo. As I was saying, it's interesting because we're getting ready to move out of this axis. We actually already started to move into the Cancer Capricorn eclipse axis, which when we really get into those eclipses, I'll put out more videos on that. But getting a little bit of a glimpse into the next couple of years with that Cancer eclipse, this Leo, partial Leo solar eclipse being one of the last, it's the second to last, I believe, on the Leo Aquarius axis. The last one is in, I want to say, January. I don't think it's December. It's either January or February. I'm pretty sure it's January though. What was I saying, y'all? I'm sorry. Anything. Anyways, sorry, I don't remember what I was saying. These eclipse has to do with major transformation. So I look at the eclipses as kind of like moon cycles on 10, like moon cycles on steroids. So with the lunar eclipses, I look at that as like a super amplified full moon. With the solar eclipses, I look at those as kind of like super amplified new moons. Although I said this partial solar eclipse energy is a little bit more subtle than the total lunar eclipse, we are also dealing with a super moon. During the beginning of the year, we had a couple of these, maybe 2 or 3. And all a super moon means is that the moon is as close or as far from the earth. I have to actually look it up on the new moons. I don't know if it's very close or at its furthest point when it comes to the new moons. I know for the full moons it's the closest point. I don't know if it flips or if it's just the closest point, period. So don't take my word on that one, but do take my word on the fact that this is a super moon. And the super moon, this being a super moon just lends the energy that whatever energy we're working with is going to be amplified dealing with this super intense energy. So rounding out the Leo Aquarius axis with one more eclipse to come, this is kind of, with this super moon energy and this being Leo and this being a new moon, is really bringing in shedding light on the ways in which we need to finalize all of the things that we've been working on, or all of the change that's been ushered in within these past couple of years, relating solely to the eclipses. Again, relating to the self and the collective, and living our best lives, and walking in our truths, and being us and communicating those things, and then also being us outside of our own personal bubbles, and, you know, allowing ourselves to be free and live our lives in accordance with everybody else, along with everybody else, and not having to shift or mold ourselves to a certain perspective or a certain societal little box or whatever it is, you know, just living your best life and being your truest self. again, we're talking about this being an 11 year, and I said earlier, dealing with enlightenment and healing through enlightenment, master number 11. On the Leo Aquarius axis, this is very important because, you know, a lot of us move through life acting as if we're acting in the way that we believe we're supposed to, as opposed to acting in the way that we just truly are. So this 11-year energy coupled with these eclipse energies is just, you know, really bringing in that healing and bringing in that courage and that strength and that positive energy to actually walk along the paths that we're paving out for ourselves, okay? Excuse me. Really what these eclipses are bringing in is an opportunity for you to figure out who you are and how to be you, and how to be you without feeling like you need to penalize yourself for it. Who are you? What do people see? What do you want people to see? And how do you want to interact with people? How do you feel like you can give back to the world in a sense, while still giving to yourself, if that makes sense? So that's what the eclipse energy lends, this solar eclipse energy lends to this new moon in Leo, okay? Now, moving on, last section of the video, I'm going to talk about the numerologies for a second. This new moon in eclipse is in 18 degrees of Leo. So when we're talking about the number 1, that is a number of, again, cycles, new beginnings, manifestation, independence as well. And number 8, I think of 8 like I think of the Pentacle suit when I do my tarot card readings. 8 is the number of success. It's the number of abundance. It's a number of growth and building. So with this Leo new moon energy in 18 degrees, again, talking about bringing in new successful ideas for you to nurture yourself, moving away from Cancer, for you to actually do the things that make you happy, since you have done that healing with that Cancer lunar cycle. Excuse me. And in coming into these new ideas, also bringing in, you know, sometimes you have an idea and it may not just be what you thought it was. This moon falling in 18 degrees is saying, okay, the ideas that are also going to come in are going to be ideas that carry the energy of success and carry the energy of abundance. So whatever shifts you're making in regards to how you're treating yourself, or in regards to how you're living your life, these shifts are going to be for the better. They're going to be very positive, okay? Excuse me. Now 18 breaks down to the number 9. You guys know with numerology, unless it breaks down into a double digit, like a repeating number like 11, 22, or 33, you don't break it down into a single digit, but if it does, it goes down to a single digit. So 18 goes into 9, and 9, which is very interesting because this 18 degrees is also carrying the energy of new beginnings. 9 is the number of ending cycles, transformation, change. And with this being a moon and an eclipse falling on the, you know, dealing with the energy of change and transformation, that 9 energy is coming in pretty strong, okay? And I think it's just also interesting that this is the second to last eclipse, and it's breaking down to the 9th degree, which is like, oh yeah, it's actually time to wrap up the work on the higher level that's been being done here, so that we can prepare ourselves for the things that are about to come in for us within the next couple of years. Now this moon 11, oh, I'm like, what? It falls on August 11th. Y'all know I like talking about 11s because I'm an 11 myself. The moon falls, it's not an 11 day, but the day is 11. So the moon falls on an 11 day, which does carry the energies of the number 11. And again, that's enlightenment, that's spirituality, that's creativity, creation, harmony, duality, peace. Excuse me. So again, all of these changes coming in with this partial solar eclipse and this new moon in Leo, is just saying pay very close attention to the things that are happening, because these are new ideas, new things coming in for you. But these things that are coming in for you are actually meant to help serve you. Like I said, we're working on doing the things that make us happy, bringing in habits that, you know, put us into the routine of always doing the things that make us happy. So this being coming on an 11 day is saying, okay, whatever routines we're bringing in, whatever new ideas are coming in, they are really meant to help serve and help heal you guys, okay? And just to go a little bit further into the day, We did talk about 11, but that day when you put in the year and the month, it breaks down to a 3-day. So, you know, that's all about creation and optimism. So this is just saying, like, all these things that are in, we're dealing with Leo energy, we're dealing with solar eclipse energy, so sun energy, positive masculine energy. This is just saying, again, everything that's happening is happening for a reason. And no matter how crazy things seem, which I will say everything I'm talking about seems very, very positive, but let's not fake the funk, because we talking about Leo. It could be some wild shit happening for y'all during this Leo lunar season, okay? Try to remain optimistic about the changes. Myself and a lot of people who are considered creatures of habit, when things change, the change is not welcomed with open arms. For this Leo lunar season, what I would like to say to you guys is whatever is changing, whatever is shifting, try not to resist it, try not to reject it, try not to fight it, kind of just go with the flow. I talk about divine timing in all of my videos. Everything is happening for a reason. Let life unfold as it does and go along with it. Like, you know, things are supposed to be happening. We all have free will, but the things that are happening are supposed to be happening because it has to do with our growth and it has to do with our healing, okay? And then anything else? Yeah, one more thing for the numerology. It's in August, which is the 8th month, and we talked about the number 8 a little bit. Growth, building, success. Again, everything happening is putting us into a place to where these habits that we're making, these routines that we're changing, are going to shift our lives in a way to whatever we're doing is going to put us into a position to become more abundant. And I'm more so talking about on a spiritual level, become more enlightened, I guess is a better way to put it. Whew, that was a mouthful. I had to get them numerologies out to y'all. I don't know. Like, why do I be feeling so winded? Maybe I need to stop smoking weed. That's not gonna happen. I don't need that. Saying that shit is even funny to me. Maybe I need to stop smoking weed. No, that's not gonna happen. Okay, so let's wrap this video up. And I'm not even high, so I'm like, what? It's like, I am winded, but nah. Say I'm blaming it on my allergies. I was gonna say let's blame it on Mercury being in retrograde. But yeah, okay guys, so just to wrap this up, we're having a new moon in Leo, also with a partial solar eclipse, so we're looking at new habits, new routines. How can we bring in more self-love for ourselves? How can we treat ourselves a little bit better? Also seeing where in the ways in which we're moving about, in the ways in which we're exhibiting ourselves and treating ourselves, which ways are not working, and how to shift them, how to change them. The eclipse more so bringing in the energy, showing us what do we need to be doing, what makes us happy, and how can we put ourselves into a routine to do those things continuously. The people that are going to be affected by this particular moon, going to be people with, their moon being in Leo for sure. Any personal planets in Leo, but if your moon is in Leo, for sure expect to be affected by this. People with Leo heavy charts, so even if you don't have Leo in your moon or your personal planets, if you've got a lot of planets or a lot of energy mixed in with Leo energy in there, you can definitely expect to feel some sort of shifts or see some sort of things change for you in your life throughout this time. And I say this all the time, but for myself, because I'm mostly moon energy, I see these things play out for me throughout the cycle. Some people are more affected literally right around the shadow of the moon, and some people see it play out. Some people, you know, it just depends on what your chart is looking like, okay? And then when I say moon in Leo, also if you have your moon in Aquarius, because we're talking about an eclipse and this is the Leo Aquarius axis, or if you have a lot of planets in Aquarius, you can expect to be affected by this moon as well. And then of course, if you have any planets in your natal chart that are in 18 degrees or a few degrees plus or minus, I have been saying like a couple of degrees, and I do still feel like if your planets are within a few degrees, like a 2 or 3, I feel like you'll be more heavily affected. But I've been doing more research. As I tell y'all, I'm always learning, and I was always confused as to why people were saying 6, 7 degrees, but it has something to do with like it's called like an orb or an allowed orb or something like that. So if you got planets within 6 degrees of 18 degrees, but I still say if your planets are within like a couple of degrees of that, you can for sure expect to be affected by this moon, okay? What else? Okay, intentions. This is definitely a good time to write your new moon intentions. I do put out blogs about that, and I'm going to link that. I haven't put out a blog for the past couple of moons, but I am going to get one out for this one. So if you you want some insight on how to do new moon intentions, it's actually nothing extensive. It's just really easy. Go on and check out that blog. This is a good time to write intentions that have to do with new habits, that have to do with your self-care routines as well, okay? And that is it for the video. What do I need y'all to know? I've got other videos out. I talked a little bit about the retrogrades in the beginning. Check out that retrograde series. We are rounding out eclipse season for this year. Check out the eclipse series. And then also I do have new moon in Leo forecast, tarot forecast. Check those out. And then if you're interested in seeing like what's going down for you for the whole, so can you guys believe we're actually like almost like halfway through the summer? We got August and September, like we're actually halfway through the summer for the most part. Check out your summer solstice tarot forecast. Oh, I'm forgetting like the biggest part. I've got 2 tarot sales going on right now. I've got eclipse sales and I've got Mercury, I'm sorry, not Mercury. I've got an eclipse sale and I've got a retrograde sale. You can get a retrograde reading for any planet that's in retrograde for $20. And I am sorry, I know in a couple videos I've been mixing this up. But if you go to my Etsy site, it's there. They're the only 2 items that are discounted. So I'm pretty sure I'm saying this correctly this time around. Eclipse readings you can get for $10, and we're looking at the Leo Aquarius axis eclipses. So if you get that reading, we'll be looking at what these particular eclipses have changed for you or are bringing in regards to change for you. You could do a retrograde reading for $20, and both of these readings are marked half price right now. If you guys are wondering, like, okay, she puts out a sale, but how much are they normally? So you can always get a retrograde reading on any planet, but if you want the sale, you have to get it on a planet that's currently in retrograde, and we do have Mercury in retrograde, and Mercury be effing up people's lives, so you guys might want to look into that. You can do that for $20, normally $40. You can get an eclipse reading, normally $20. You can get it for $10. I'm sorry, yeah, get it for $10. Do that through my Etsy shop, or you can send me an email, whatever works for you if you're interested in doing that. Check out them readings, the Leo lunar cycle tarot forecast and the summer solstice tarot forecast as well. Give you guys some insight for the summer. Although we're moving out of the full moon Aquarius energy, I actually would watch that video so you guys can get a little bit more insight into what these eclipses mean. Again, that's in the eclipse series playlist. All right, I done said, okay guys, I think that's it. I've said that a few times, but this is really it. Thank you guys so much for watching and continuing to, tune into my channel. If you like the video, go on and hit that little thumbs up button for me down below. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below, especially about the time of the new moon. If I'm wrong and you know it, go on and drop that down below for me. Check my channel every couple of days. It takes me about that same amount of time to respond. Share the video if you know anybody who's into this moon stuff, or you know any Leos for sure. Send this video to them. You guys share my videos a lot, so thank you for that. And yeah, if you're still listening to me talk 33 minutes in, go on and hit subscribe so you can keep up with when I put up new videos. You can listen to me talk some more. All right, y'all, thank you for watching. See y'all next time.